Hey Rangers, welcome back to another video. Now today I wanted to talk about Dino Fury and kind of my really random thoughts on apparently a theory that's going around about, it's about the Red Ranger being related to Zordon, either his son, etc, or the same planet, blah blah blah. Now, my friend Ash kind of talks about this in a video, and it was some of the points that he mentioned that I kind of really wanted to kind of think about. So link in the description down to his video. Now, he's saying like, he's mentioned that a lot of fans are speculating that Zayto is going to be Zordon's son, or related to Zordon, or from the same planet as Zordon, because quite recently in the comics we've been exploring Zordon's past and stuff. Now I kind of really want to a little bit debunk this in a way, because I have a feeling that this won't be the case, mainly because all the planning for this was done last year in May roughly, which was confirmed by Simon on this one, where he mentioned that, you know, they went straight into planning after Beast Morphers. So for them to kind of add in that, you know, it's all speculated, like I think maybe a lot of people think that Dino Fury was written like a few months ago, you know, that everything was kind of sorted. Now if they do it, happy days, that's really cool that, you know, they're linking it in. But from what I remember is it wouldn't be Zordon's son, because I'm sure, like they say, for 10,000 years Zordon was lost in the time warp in his tube effectively. If that was the case, then he would have to have kids before that, so that would make Zayto a lot older, and I don't think that would be the case. I just don't think they do it, because it would just be really weird if they did that. Because if he was Zordon's son and he knew all about Power Rangers, why didn't he come and help to save the Earth multiple times that we've seen it? Now, we know that this isn't going to be set before Mighty Morphing because of the Pink Ranger's bio, which was basically saying that she was a blogger, that, you know, a journalist type thing. And 10,000 years ago, I don't think that they would have had anything like that. So I don't think that it's going to be set before that. Now, the only way that I think that you can do this, even if it was pulled off, was if it was set in the Dino Charge universe, because it looks like after they did all the stuff in Dino Charge, they had the entire, like, they made their own universe. So effectively there were no other Power Rangers before Dino Charge, and they were the first ones. So in theory, maybe you could do that if it was set around that time in that universe, but I have a feeling that they're going to be putting it in the canon universe, so I don't think that story would hold up, not unless you had another version of Zordon, so there could be two Zordons or something like that, and, you know, etc, but I don't think so. So for me personally, I don't think that Zayto is going to be Zordon's son or related to Zordon. If he's from Eltar, I guarantee possibly maybe he knows about it. That's probably the only thing that you're gonna hear is like, oh, did you know that Zordon was around? Oh my god, Zordon, is he still here? No. Oh god, what happened to him? Oh, Andros. God damn it, Andros. I also kind of want to talk about the whole play on what a lot of fans want. And I feel like when you put dinosaurs, most fans want it to roll back to like Power Rangers, like Mighty Morphing. They don't really care about others, because I think that most people do want to relive their childhood and go like, oh my god, Mighty Morphin, I remember. But then this means that the brand doesn't grow, and then you might as well, after Dino Fury, just literally all set it Mighty Morphing, and then just let that happen and see what happens. I guarantee it probably won't happen, but in theory, I generally don't think Zayto is linked to Zordon as a child or related or anything like that. I just think that if they do write it, then it's a lot, as Ash says, and I agree, that it's a lot of pandering to older fans. Like, you have to have this, you have to turn around and like please the Mighty Morphing fans, which is good and bad, because if you pander to them, then yeah, you're going to get a lot more people watching. Will they buy the toys or the merchandise? No. Will they do anything different? No. So I feel that when you get this sort of thing, that You know, it's just like, yeah, some people will talk about it, they'll check out the first episode. If they don't like it, they won't. So you spend a lot of time turning around and just messing it up. Like, you've written all this for fans that may or may not watch the series, and if you go down the road of it being like, say, Beast Morphers, which Beast Morphers was good to some degree, but if you've got like the comedy effect that puts people off, then you know that no one's really gonna kind of like watch it, and they'll kind of be like, oh well, you know, fair dues on this, fair dues, I'm not gonna be bothered. Now we can see that there is I reckon that if they pull that it is Zordon's son or related to Zordon, I have a feeling that it'll be in a cliffhanger. I think that you'll see little bits of trinklets like slip down to kind of tease people, and then when we come up to the cliffhanger episode, like end of halfway through season 1 before hiatus, I think you're then gonna see like the whole thing of like, wait a minute, are you Zayto? Yeah, I'm Zayto. What about it, monster? Oh my god, I knew your father. Well, who? My father disappeared many years ago. Zordon's son. Bum bum bum. And then it's like, Dino Fury, Dino Fury. What's coming up on Dino Fury? Something like that. That is literally what's gonna happen for that one. So, so also the whole alien thing is, so the whole alien thing isn't too bad either. Like, I would like it if he came from another planet that had maybe loads of Power Rangers, and then he kind of did a Doctor Who where he stole a spacecraft because he wanted to look around the universe and help, and he crash lands on Earth and can't leave Earth. I would like to see something like kind of more developed. Now, I'm sick and tired of the same sort of tropes that we've seen now. I know that Simon may possibly have done something completely different, but we saw it with Dino Charge, then we saw it with Ninja Steel, where it's like you had that father-son thing. So I think that having aliens is fine, but I kind of would like to see a little bit more, like more in-depth writing for that. So having Zordon, no, I think that should have just been left at the end of In Space. That's it. Zordon's story is done, and if you start pandering to a lot more people, then you're not going to come up with the original ideas that you want. So my theory is that personally, I want more original writing. I like Easter eggs. That's what I like in the series. So when you throw back to Zordon or Mighty Morphing or any of the other series, I'd like to see little Easter eggs. I just don't want it to be literally carbon copying. Now, I remember my point now. So when I was talking about how fans always want it to link to Mighty Morphing, it's always mainly when it's a dinosaur theme, like, oh, I want this, I want that. Like how everybody kicked off about the Green Ranger being a female, and, you know, literally going like, oh my god, like, the Green Ranger can't be a girl, and rah rah rah. And then you had some people turn around and moan on social media that when they cosplayed or that they had plans for that Ranger, that it was completely different. You had people like kind of going after people as well, which I just generally thought was a bad thing. And I feel like if you try and not copy Mighty Morphing, or you kind of resemble Mighty Morphing, then people instantly go and attack and like, how dare you? Now, there was a video ages ago I remember seeing, or an article, where I think it was around the time of the Power Ranger movie in 2017, that they asked the Japanese audience what about it, and they were like, oh, they're so obsessed with that one. Now, Zyuranger was in 92, 93. So personally, like, when the Sentai writers sit down and think this, they don't go back and go, well, we've got to keep it back to Zyuranger. They want to do their own thing, and that's absolutely fine. I think some fans want it to be a carbon copy of Mighty Morphing, so again, they can relive their days. So when everyone complained about the Green Ranger being a girl and Saber-Tooth Tiger, they didn't see the bigger picture, and then saying that the reason why they did that was because writers were honoring Twee. That's the way that I saw it. So, you know, girl, Saber-Tooth Tiger, you know, she's not going to have a skirt, so it kind of brings balance to that one. So that's how I kind of saw it, rather than going like, well, Green Ranger in Mighty Morphing was a boy and you can't really do that, what are you doing, son? Oh, I'm not gonna watch because rah rah rah. So yeah, that's kind of my thought. So yeah, do I think that Zordon's, no. Do I think Zayto is going to be Zordon's son? No, I just don't think. 10,000 years, and if he had a son in that time warp, dear God. Yet again, like where you've seen Zordon in Mighty Morphin when they used Ranger footage, you know, he is an old man, and it says here, sometime 8 to 10,000 years ago, Rita sought to conquer many worlds. So a war was stretched out for 2,000 years. So within that time, Rita did banish Zordon into a time warp. So, you know, nonetheless, by that time, you know, he either got out of the time warp, which we know never happened. So I feel like having him as his as Zordon's son, I don't think is going to work. I generally don't. So I kind of see it that way. Now, if they do it, cool, awesome. I will retract, and I will say, I was wrong. But for me personally, and this is just my opinion, I don't think that they're going to write it like that. I think that it's just going to be he's from another planet that we've never heard of, that's on the far reaches of the universe, or he could be from a neighboring planet, who knows. And, you know, he's come down. I don't know. It's just a really cool thing. But do I think that he is Zordon's son? No. So yeah, and also I don't think that they're going to follow the comics. I generally don't, because you've had so many big things like Draken and stuff, yet that's never really made it into the series, as far as I know. Not unless they brought one thing. No, they didn't they bring that thing from Dimensions and Danger that they mentioned in the comic book, and then they showed it. So that's one little thing they brought in that was from the Time Force era. But apart from that, most of the time it's nothing that big. It's just a plot way to jump from one dimension to another. I think they should have done it from an alternative reality that he just stumbled across. So he came as an alien. He stumbled through a portal from another dimension that we don't know of, bringing his stuff because he's an outlaw or something like that. I think that would have been a lot cooler. And then he got stuck in the Prime Universe. That's how I would have done it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. What do you think about this? Do you think that Zayto is going to be Zordon's son? Do you think that they're going to play with the comics? Or what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments, and let me know what you think. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.